I'm going to focus on our flagship property in Chile called Salvadora, and I'm hoping that after you see the drilling successes and the progress we're making, that you'll agree that it is something you should know about and should be on your radar screen. Same stuff about forward-looking statements. I won't pretend to go into it. So let me start with a slide that is admittedly too busy, but I will just show you what the key takeaways from this slide are. First of all, probably most important is we own all of our claims 100%. No NSRs, no overriding royalties, no monkey business. It's 90 square kilometers, located in Chile, about 100 kilometers northeast of Copiapó. For those who are aware of that, it's Region 3, and commonly referred to as the megaporphyry belt of Chile. We enjoy paved road access right to the property. We enjoy high voltage power line that goes along the north end out to the Porterias smelter that's located about 30 kilometers to the east. Now, a key feature as well is that it's very close to a megamine. Now, let me go to that for a minute and explain what I mean by that. The Salvadora property that San Lorenzo holds is located in a similar geological feature as the El Salvador mine, and that is within caldera collapse features. The El Salvador mine is actually a cluster of pits that have produced 24 billion pounds of copper in the past and 5.6 million ounces of gold in the past. So in today's presentation, I'm going to discuss four different target areas that we have on Salvadora. Two of them have been the subject of recent drilling that we just finished and have announced numbers on. Those are Ardioro and Cerro Blanco. So the one on the left, or the east and the west targets. We'll touch on the other two very briefly, Kabay Muerto and Tres Amigos. So we'll start with Ardioro. Why Ardioro? Why are we there? Well, Ardioro is forming up a thermal vein system that has a strike of about 5 kilometers on our claims. Now, we say strike of about 5 kilometers. How do we know that? Well, we're here principally because of this and that. So surface workings go right from the northwest boundary of this system to the southeast boundary for a distance of 5 kilometers. And we've shot IP. You'll notice the blue lines that are within this area and the yellow lines are our existing IP coverage that I've identified a rose-colored anomalous section greater than 10 millivolts per volt. We're in the process right now of shooting those lines, which is our 2025 expansion program. So we started this out many years ago and drilled a number of shallower holes into the oxide level of this system, never getting deeper than about 100 meters. So we had very encouraging results, and we thought, well, what is going on down lower? Because these veins start at surface. Well, we drilled this hole, and we intersected the vein at 300 meters of depth and got 6.5 meters of essentially half-ounce gold at 300 meters in mass and sulfides. So then we thought, well, let's go and maybe expand the strike. So we drilled this hole, and this is one of the holes that we just finished in our last program. It doesn't take much to look at that and say, wow, everybody would love to get that. And as you can see, there's an A and B zone, and we believe that's a result of a number of systems coming together in this location. We don't know for how long that continues. However, the key point is there's almost 40 meters of width at 4.83 grams per ton of gold. which is significant indeed. So this is going to be a hard one to grasp, but what we did was a quick little calculation on what we've got there and said, okay, how about we say that you got to mine 2.5 meters or more? So we took a core zone of 2.5 meters. This in the circle is 2.5 meters to 300 meters of depth. There's a kilometer of strike, and when you average it all out, everything, the 2.5 meters for over a kilometer is over 17 grams per ton of gold. So the interesting part, of course, is that we've drilled now 1.2 kilometers of the strike and still have another kilometer to go to the southeast and another 2.5 kilometers to go to the northwest. And this is where we're doing IP right now. So now we'll look at Cerro Blanco. That's on the other side, on the east side of that property, and it's a porphyry target. So it is admittedly quite different. It was also the subject of our drilling here that we just finished a couple months ago. So why are we here? Well, if you drive down the paved road on the north side of the property, you see all this alteration along the hill. That's about 250 meters. It rises further in the back. But this feature itself is 300 meters wide. You can see the high voltage power line going across here, maybe. There's a river there as well, by the way. But why else are we there? Well, there's the feature. And it's overlain by a leach cap that's evidence of hydrothermal fluids having been in the area. And so we acquired IP, and this is our interpretation of it. And this is our interpretation of surface samples. I don't know how well you can read that, but we've done a fairly significant program of surface sampling. And that was followed up by drilling 1, 2, 3 holes. Those 3 holes are 500 meters apart, so very widely spaced, especially for a porphyry type target. Well, I'm just going to show you one of the holes because we don't have enough time, but we intercepted 153 meters of over 1 gram gold in a porphyry style alteration here. By the way, both other holes also intercepted significant grades. So we're really excited about this. We are now shooting or acquiring these 3 lines. And you'll notice, interestingly, there's a break here. The break is because of terrain. We're filling that in right now, but the strongest IP anomaly sits right here. So that is obviously going to be one of our targets to drill, subject to filling in the IP. Okay, so moving on, we have another target area we call Tres Amigos that we haven't done very much work on, but it's comprised of vein systems that run for a strike length of about 2.5 kilometers, again, visible from surface, but there was mining that went on there. And we decided to drill 3 holes. I'll give you a for instance of what we got right here. We've got 34 meters of 1.5% copper, 6 meters of 5 and some copper. But then the adit where they're working, we tested that or sampled that entire face. It averaged over 10% copper over 11 meters. So with it getting up to a 14.7% copper as well. So we're pretty excited about this, but have done very little on it. And it needs to have some work done on it. And then lastly, this is older drilling now, but it's something that we like. It's called Kabay Muerto, which is the 4th target that I showed you. But it's highlighted in yellow here. But we drilled this hole in 22 and counted 112 meters of 1.44 gold in a porphyry setting. So obviously, that's pretty encouraging. So our next plans are, first of all, we have to complete the IP. That's going to be done by the end of May. And then our next part is drilling. We anticipate a 2,000-meter program that's going to start in June. And no comment yet on location because we're going to wait for the interpretation of the IP, of course. I'll give you a quick summary of who's involved. The key person really is Terry Walker, who is a resident in Chile, a very seasoned geologist, is very conversant in the mega porphyry trend of Chile, has been there for over 30 years. So here's our capitalization. We have 80 million shares out right now. We don't have any warrants. They were just all exercised from just recently. We have 2.8 million options out, so about a third of what we could have out under our 10% plan. We've got about an $18 million market cap as of yesterday's close. We've got about 1.3 million of cash and about 2.1 million in debt. So to summarize, we talked about 1, 2, 3, and 4 targets. And I just want to give you some key takeaways. The geological setting is very similar to the El Salvador mine. Collapse features, caldera collapse features. But what's really important, and it's bolded, of course, is every hole we have drilled, every last one, has got mineralization, including many, many holes that have got very significant mineralization. So we've got multiple targets on a 90 square kilometer property package. It's, as I said, 100% owned, no NSRs, nothing like that. We believe that we've cut 2 porphyry discovery holes. Those are always subject to interpretation, but the results I showed you earlier are very significant on those 2 targets, Cerro Blanco and Kabay Muerto. We have IP underway right now for completion in 3 weeks. And the management team is very committed with a significant equity interest in the company wanting it to succeed. So, a discovery in the making. You might even say maybe we've got one. It'd be pretty hard to argue that the Ardioro trend that we've been drilling up wouldn't be a discovery of significant size. If you do the calculation just on that 1 kilometer, it comes out to 1 million ounces. So what I would do is wrap up and invite anybody to come and talk to me or ask questions at the booth that's just outside the door or in the question and answer series that's going to follow immediately after. Thank you very much for your time.